The discussion regarding the black label or identity has been addressed over and over. However, the wrong points keep being emphasized while important points keep being overlooked. Let's begin with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Chapter 47 of the Holy Quran states, "According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774. And the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America, who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing." One definition of black means to be evil, terrible, wicked, bad, or malicious. In a figurative sense, it means without light, moral, or spiritual. So, in other words, the term black is more aligned with the lower self, as described clearly in Chapter 3 of the Holy Quran, Elihu's Lessons, the Unity of Life. Therefore, if you still are clinging to your lower self, you are actually still, by definition, black, or in other words, living in sin. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery, from the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. Again, from Elihu's Lessons, verse 5, "There are two selves, the higher and the lower self. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. The lower self, the carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of the higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. The lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The higher self is Allah in man and will not pass away. The higher self is the embodiment of truth. The lower self is truth reversed, and so is falsehood manifest. The higher self is justice, mercy, love, and right. The lower self is what the higher self is not. The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. The higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. The lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest, misery, and death. It gives men apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to the smell. Their cores are full of bitterness and gall. If you would ask me what to study, I would say yourselves. And when you have studied them, and then would ask me what to study next, I would reply, yourselves. He who knows well his lower self, knows the illusions of the world, knows of the things that pass away, and he who knows his higher self, knows Allah, knows well the things that cannot pass away. Thrice blessed is the man who has made purity and love his very own. He has been ransomed from the perils of the lower self and is himself his higher self. The only devil from which men must be redeemed is self, the lower self. If man would find his devil, he must look within. His name is self. If man would find his Savior, he must look within. And when the demon self has been dethroned, the Savior love will be exalted to the throne of power. The David of the light is purity, who slays the strong Goliath of the dark and seats the Savior love upon the throne. The prophet stated that clinging to names and principles that delude to slavery is a sin. One must verify whether or not they are sincerely aligned with what it means to be upright, or if they are clinging to falsehood or their lower selves while being hypocritical or presenting a false version of who they are to the world. Remember that being Moorish American is not just a bloodline, but about one's morals, character, and conduct, both in public and in private. Those who do not live up to the principles are not true Moors.